Hi, welcome to DJ Wardove's YouTube channel. Um, I wish that I was better prepared for this, but I'm not. I've tried to say what I'm trying to say many, many times, and I'd love to do it live, but I'm not so good at live. I had a brain injury in 1997, and it's resulted in my retaining of my executive functions, but I'm doing math like a third grader. I have difficulties focusing, and sometimes there's some circumlocution in my speech. And these are all things that I've been seeing a speech pathologist for. And I've been encouraged to do my own interviews since I'm a DIY artist and continue to do these things that challenge me despite my handicaps and disabilities. So I had Chat GPT-4 write me a somewhat serious celebrity interview. It generated some questions for DJ Wardove, myself, Timothy S. Stafford. Timothy S. Stafford is DJ Wardove. And let's just try this again. Number 1, can you tell us about your journey into the music industry? How did you get started and what inspired you to become a DJ? Well, I wrote, as do most artists, I began delving into music at a young age. It was a rocky start, though. I began by beatboxing in kindergarten because my father was very strict and I wasn't allowed to learn music formally. Once, when I was in third grade, I saved up some earnings and bought a micro keyboard, but it got thrown away before I could even learn Mary Had a Little Lamb. Ironically, I was allowed to collect records, tapes, and various forms of media through the late 1980s into the early 90s, and that would serve me well for my eventual transformation. In college, I was introduced to a drum set and fell in love. But one day, a neighbor in Gresham showed up on my lawn threatening to kill me with a shotgun for playing them. I spent a lot of time at rap shows, especially the PHORX shows in Portland, Oregon. At shows, I was often the DJ by the way of playing other artists' pre-recorded beats, but I wanted to make beats of my own, so I started making original recordings under the moniker Wardove and DJ Wardove about 2005. 2. What's your creative process like? How do you go about creating a new track or preparing for a live set? My creative process is fairly organic. I ascribe to a by any means necessary aesthetic where I move with a sense of urgency when creating new music. Where other artists may spend hours attempting to make a waveform curve for a perfect snare, my creations remain rough and unpolished so that the listener gets a sense of rushing in my productions. Also, I use artificial intelligence a lot in my current music and have written before about how assistive technologies aid me in my creations. When creating a new track, I start with an idea, whether a simple drum and bass pattern or a melody or some random sound. I build on the idea as though it were a pearl. Then I spend time subtracting things in my production that don't fit so perfectly as a final production. Sometimes I send a track to another producer or rapper for additional input. DJ Wardove live sets are indescribable. I believe in spontaneous performances, poetic license, and steppin' two. 3. Who are your biggest musical influences? Are there any artists or genres that have significantly shaped your sound? I enjoy a lot of psychedelic rock from before I was born. The Doors, Jimi Hendrix. Fat Boys was the first record I ever bought myself. In the 1990s, I discovered Nine Inch Nails and listened to a lot of Trent Reznor and other alternative musicians. By 2005, I was making my own hip-hop experimental beats. Kool Keith, the PHORX, and Noah 23 are my hip-hop loves. The artists Staple Mouth and Wormhole of New Cocoon Collective also carry a heavy measure of my soul. 4. What has been the most memorable moment of your career so far? Any particular gigs, collaborations, or achievements that stand out? Well, the most memorable achievements were the shows that we did at Lad's Edition in the Firkin Tavern series in Portland, Oregon. I had a lot of fun playing with Oxygen Elmo and Notorious BEN. My favorite collaborations, though, have been with Noah 23, Brian Mack, and Oxygen Elmo. Noah 23 got a song with Cool Keith on a DJ Wardove beat in 2003, and that God rocked me. 5. How do you engage with your fans? What role has social media or live performances played in building your fan base? My fan base interact with me directly and is mostly made up of rappers and DJs on a similar vibe. Social media is nearly a requirement as a collaboration and fan base recruitment tool for the modern producer. There will be future DJ Wardove shows, but I am beginning to fall to age. So sets will have to be rethought around my disabilities and handicaps. The old blues men of ages past will be my inspiration there. 6. What's next for DJ Wardove? Any upcoming projects, tours, or goals you're excited about? Well, 2023 was a hard year for DJ Wardove. I got cancer at the beginning of the year and had to have part of my kidney removed. And then they found out that I have alpha-gal syndrome, which is a tick-borne disease that makes me allergic to meat. And I did umpteen jillion freaking releases and albums last year on top of it all. And but this year I began with a solid album in January. It's called The Sounds the Lord of Chainsaws Made by DJ Wardove. It will be my last instrumental offering for some time as I use 2024 to prepare several projects for other vocalists and my eventual tour. Number 7. Any advice for aspiring DJs or producers? What do you wish you knew when you were starting out? Never give up. Never give up. People will tell you you're shit. They will tell you you're no good. They will tell you to turn off your music at every opportunity, but they will not make a better alternative unless you do. Never give up. That is my final advice. This has been a pleasure. I hope to do it again sometime. I love you all.